Heck, it only took 700 years to admit. May 12, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. For those who missed it, the Templars have been declared innocent of heresy, as they should have been when the subject first came up, and as Pope Clement decided at the time, but that part of it, his decision in the Templars' favor regarding the charge of heresy, was covered up for 700 years and only finally, grudgingly, admitted in 2007. The horrific suppression of the order and the torture and dismemberment of its leaders need hardly be commented on. That the Church stood by and did nothing to stop King Philip IV of France from executing Jacques de Molay is a stain as dark as any that lay upon the robes of the popes. Please note the quote from the article linked below. Philip was heavily indebted to the Templars, who had helped him finance his wars, and getting rid of them was a convenient way of cancelling his debts, some historians say. https://tinyurl.com/Vatican-Templars. The European royal families are part of the Black Venetian nobility, banking families from Venice who built fortunes based on bilking the Chinese in the Silk Road trade, then parlayed that theft into financing wars. This pattern of bilking one nation to finance destruction of another has held steady for 1,000 years or more. The same group enslaved the English people by enfranchisement to finance the takeover of India by the Raj. Their UN Corp is attempting a similar coup against the US, and they are here on our shores, right now, occupying positions in free trade zones on our soil, posing a grave threat to the non-domestic with respect to the US population of this country. The whole setup is again trying to assert itself and replay in modern times, with the same basic players, no less. China has again been bilked by the US, a corporation run by the black nobility. Please note that the US is not the same as the Americans, and the animosities resulting from this are being flamed by the same old villains who are hoping for a war that will profit them and destroy both their primary creditors, America and China. These cretins siphoned off the American national credit and owe the actual Americans in the neighborhood of $25 trillion, and they also ran up the credit cards with China and neglected to pay the Chinese for all the goods that the Americans paid for, another debt owed by the U.S. as the U.S.-China trade deficit, for a similarly huge amount of around $25 trillion. After centuries of this nonsense, if we can't figure it out after so many examples of the same shtick, cheat, steal, kill off creditors, repeat, maybe we all really are too stupid to live. The Templars, who financed King Philip's wars for him, were in competition with the larger family business of financing wars, so they had to go. War, then as now, was big business in all respects. Even the bets made on outcomes were staggeringly large, and Philip had won the war, but lost his bets. So he turned on his benefactors who had become his creditors, and the Church lied by omission for 700 years, and just kinda sorta forgot the fact that Pope Clement never convicted the Templars of any heresy at all. They let innocent men be burned alive, tortured, imprisoned for life, and stood by and did nothing but tacitly assist in this, just as they are doing now. Consider the case of Chief Laverne Fasthorse, yet another political prisoner in the municipal gulag run by the private, for-profit, and thoroughly criminal entity being operated as the state of Nevada. His crime? His real crime? Being an American Indian leader of a nation that never signed a treaty with the U.S. He is non-domestic with respect to both the municipal and territorial governments, yet both claim to own him as a franchise, and they have both kept him in prison on phony charges for the past five years. Even the man that he was accused of cheating out of $700 admitted in open court that Laverne Fasthorse never owed him a dime. Ask yourselves, what kind of a country is it that keeps a man in prison for 5 years, with no rational basis for doing so? Come to that, what kind of a country keeps a man in prison for 5 years over a private debt of less than $1,000? This is clearly not America, land of the free and home of the brave, in operation. This is the work of thoroughly evil and unjust and out-of-control prisons for profit finaglers and scam artists providing governmental services under color of law. There is no public law in America authorizing debtor's prison, but that's where Laverne Charlie Fasthorse has been for the past five years. It's time for him to be released, even if you allowed that they ever had any basis for holding him at all, but instead of releasing him they have systematically cut his lines of communication, refused to let us talk to him via telephone, lost his mail, refused to provide his medications, and most recently, moved this native elder to a maximum security prison in Ely, Nevada. Same old shit, different day, until we all wake up, recognize what's wrong with this world, and who is behind it. Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. If you enjoy having Anna's latest articles made into videos, please consider making a purchase from Ed's website sacredintuitiveelements.com. Thank you.